we see that these acts of union and dissolution are possible because at a subtler level, the tiniest part of matter has this innate ability, right? I think we can see that. This is the materiality of matter, we can say. And yeah, then we see that in the philosophical text named Tatvarth Sutra, this text is based on the nature of reality. Acharya Umaswati describes the nature of Pudgal as the clusters of matter and single atoms have material qualities. So here we see that the clusters as well as the single atoms, both of them have material qualities, and because atoms have these material qualities, it reflects in the clusters, right? So we can say that material nature of the absolute atom reflects in the bunches of matter. Yeah.